Imagine this. You're sitting at home, and a wild thought enters your mind. What if you try to print all of Wikipedia? Not just a few articles or your favorite page, but the entire thing. Every word, every image, every article from every language version. Sound crazy, right? But let's pretend for a moment that you actually try to do it. First of all, let's talk about how big Wikipedia really is. You've probably seen a few pages here and there. Maybe you've read about your favorite celebrity, a scientific concept, or a random historical event. But Wikipedia isn't just a website with a few articles. It's one of the biggest collections of human knowledge ever created. Right now, Wikipedia has over 60 million articles across more than 300 languages. The English version alone has more than 6.8 million articles. And these aren't short notes either. Many of them are detailed, with images, charts, tables, and links to more content. If you want to print just the English version of Wikipedia, how much paper would you need? Let's break it down. On average, a Wikipedia article is about 500 words long. Some are shorter, some are much longer, but let's stick to that average. With 6.8 million articles in English, that gives us roughly 3.4 billion words. Now, the average printed page holds about 500 words, so you'd need about 6.8 million pages just for the text. And that's only the English version. But wait, it gets even more intense. What about the other 59 million articles in other languages? If we include everything, the total number of pages needed would be over 60 million. If you try to stack that paper, it would reach higher than Mount Everest, actually much higher. Let's say you decide to go ahead and try. You buy a really good printer, maybe one that prints 30 pages per minute. If you ran it 24 hours a day without stopping, it would still take you more than 4 years to finish printing just the English Wikipedia. And that's assuming the printer never runs out of ink, paper, or breaks down. Spoiler alert, it definitely will. Now, let's talk about the cost. Printing a single black and white page costs about 5 cents. Multiply that by 6.8 million pages, and you're already spending $340,000. Again, that's just for the English version. Add in the rest of Wikipedia, and you're looking at several $1 million just in printing costs. And that doesn't include ink, maintenance, or buying new printers when the old ones give up from exhaustion. And what about the paper? You'd need over 300 tons of paper, which means cutting down thousands of trees. That's a pretty big environmental impact for something that's already free to read online. If you really try to do this, you need a warehouse just to store the paper, and probably a second warehouse to hold all the boxes of ink cartridges. And even if you finish printing it, where would you keep it? You need a building the size of a shopping mall just to hold the printed volumes. And remember, Wikipedia is updated constantly. New articles are added every day. Old ones are edited, corrected, or deleted. By the time you finish printing the last page, much of your version would already be out of date. Let's say you wanted to organize it into books. If each book holds 500 pages, then you'd have at least 13,600 books just for the English Wikipedia. Imagine walking into a library and seeing rows and rows of shelves filled with thousands of books just to read what you could find online with a few clicks. Now imagine adding translations of those books for every major language in the world. You'd need an entire city to hold the full collection. But here's the funny part. Someone actually tried to do this. A few years ago, a group started a project to visualize what printing Wikipedia would look like. They made a few printed volumes of real Wikipedia pages and stacked them on shelf. It looked impressive, but it was only a tiny part of the full collection. Still, it gave people an idea of just how massive this project would be. So, what's the point of thinking about all this? For one, it helps us realize how much information we've created and shared. Wikipedia is the result of millions of people working together for free, writing, editing, and reviewing information to make it available to the world. It's not perfect, but it's one of the most impressive examples of online collaboration in history. Trying to print Wikipedia is kind of like trying to bottle the ocean. You can maybe scoop up a few buckets, but you'll never fit the whole thing. And that's okay. Some things are better when they stay digital. There's also something amazing about the fact that this massive library, the sum of so much knowledge, is available to anyone, anytime, anywhere in the world for free. You don't need to print it. You just need an internet connection. So the next time you visit Wikipedia to quickly check a date, a fact, or some random piece of trivia, take a second to think about what you're using. You're tapping into something that's larger than any printed encyclopedia ever made. Something that would take you years and millions of dollars to print. Something that grows every single day. What if you tried to print Wikipedia? Well, you'd go broke, burn out your printer, fill up an entire warehouse, and still end up with an outdated version. And that's why some things, no matter how curious we are just better left online.